doesn't look like it's missing a beat after trying to incorporate two of its stars back into the lineup. Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins didn't waste any time. Alex Clancy, Bo Brock were breaking down the first half between the Cardinals and the Bears right here on Locked On Cardinals.
You are Locked On Cardinals, your daily Arizona Cardinals podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
The Arizona Cardinals up at halftime, 21-7. Little ugly at the end of half, but look, your stars came out. The Cardinals and Cliff Kingsbury were able to incorporate your two guys, Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins, right away connect on a 21-yard touchdown strike on 4th and 2 on the first offensive possession for the Cardinals of the game. That was after Jalen Thompson took a tip ball for an interception off Andy Dalton. The Arizona Cardinals offense, Alex, it's like the U.S. Postal Service. Rain, shine, heat, gloom of night. No matter what it is, the offense shows up for work and delivers.
I mean, Bo, what doesn't deliver on Sundays? The U.S. Postal Service, not your best. That wasn't your best. But the Arizona Cardinals. I mean, do you get mail on Sundays?
Yeah, sometimes.
I don't know what planet you live on. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, all in all, like the 4th and 2 call was Cliff Kingsbury at his finest, at his worst, at his whatever. That's Cliff Kingsbury. Throwing it, taking a shot for everything. DeAndre Hopkins gets in, as he always does. James Conner looks great. What we said on the other side of the ball, it's been David Montgomery as if he were LaDainian Tomlinson, as Bo mentioned on Twitter, Marshall Faulk, whoever you want to say, he is their offense. And as he goes, they go. And the Cardinals, you know, although giving David Montgomery up almost 100 yards in the first half, they looked fine, you know, and the balls have been bouncing the Arizona Cardinals' way. This is what we've been talking about. 2 tipped interceptions to the Arizona Cardinals, giving the Cardinals offense short field. That's now a trend. It was in Cleveland. It was in Tennessee. It's in Chicago. When the Cardinals are on the road, the defense has made great turnover plays to give the Cardinals offense short fields. It's now a theme, and it's a beautiful thing to watch.
No, it is. I mean, right out of the gates, you get the Jalen Thompson pick. You've got Kyler Murray, 4th and 2. Beautiful, just dime to DeAndre Hopkins. Gets both feet in. I don't know what the official on the goal line was watching. If the fact that he didn't initially call that a touchdown, Jerome Boger just flip-flopped it immediately. Didn't even have to use replay. And then the Arizona Cardinals get Budda Baker. For God's sake, can we get something going for Budda Baker to finally return one to the house? I mean, the guy, we're just going to have to start something. Now he gets caught up here. Couldn't go the entire way once again, but he gets Andy Dalton for the second time, and sets up another score for the Arizona Cardinals. And then we kind of get our first real glimpse when the Bears were able to kind of have that long, methodical 14-play, 77-yard touchdown drive that was capped by David Montgomery plunging in the end zone. We got our first glimpse of the offense having to go the entire length of the field, and they didn't come up short there. They looked efficient as ever. Sure, it took an incredible play by James Conner, the 100 grab that you were talking about, and then just completely just shrugging off a tackle on that play as he hauled in the pass. But, man, I think that this offense, it's not missing a beat. I don't care who they're playing. You know, for them to go 3 for 3 on touchdown scoring drives to open up this game, you could talk about time of possession, but look, they're efficient. That's all you needed. 3 for 5 in the half on scoring. Sure, they didn't score on their last 2 drives. The last one was a little crazy because they're backed up and there was no time really left on the clock. I know the play to Rondale Moore was pretty ugly, but other than that, you have to be pretty pleased that your quarterback, who was on the shelf for 38 days, was able to come out and be as efficient as he was.
Yeah, the only time I was like, ooh, was when he scored the touchdown. He didn't look super excited right after he scored, so I didn't know if he had tweaked something there right when he got past the goal line. But yeah, man, I mean, this is game. Numbers don't always equate to wins. Ask Blake Bortles type quarterbacks when you're down 3 scores, you end up throwing for 350 yards and 4 touchdowns, but you lose by 2 scores. Like, what the Cardinals have done is they've instilled their dominance and they've implemented game plan that's worked. And sure, the defense has helped a lot. But it's all in all, ugly games that you dominate instead of ugly games that are close are still a game that you dominate.
Right.
And this is just another case showing that the Cardinals are a better team than the team they're playing against. And
Right.
I mean, that's, yeah.
You watched the Big Ten championship last night. The first half, the time of possession was dominated by Iowa, but who was leading at halftime because Michigan had the benefit of big plays. Same thing was happening with the Arizona Cardinals here in the first half. It just so happens to be in the general vicinity of where that same game happened in the Midwest. I think that the Arizona Cardinals, look, they're just taking advantage of a defense that's going to have busts and holes and short fields and winning the takeaway battle, which the Arizona Cardinals have done for the most part this entire season, especially during their hot start. That's just the recipe. That's part of the game plan. I really liked what I saw from not only did you reincorporate guys like Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins, but you kept the guy who's been hot the last couple of weeks, James Conner, involved. You're getting Rondell more touches. Like to see some more AJ Green in the second half. He's been quiet outside of a penalty. Well, no, I guess there was Zach Ertz. We'd love to see Zach Ertz get incorporated in the second half. But look, the Cardinals could get out of here with Kyler Murray not even throwing 20 passes in this game. He's 5 for 8 in the first half, and the Cardinals have 21 points.
Yeah. I mean, and this is what did I say before the game started? A couple things. One, stop David Montgomery. They haven't done a very good job of that. Number two, the goal of any Arizona Cardinals game is have Colt McCoy start the fourth quarter. And we're looking at this point saying, you know what? If they can put up a 10-burger, you might see Colt McCoy play the majority of the fourth quarter if the defense can hold. I mean, the Bears have had one good drive. They've had one good drive. So, this defense has been, and they've ran the ball 15 times. They said 35 times might be a number. Look for a little bit more Benjamin in the second half to complement James Conner. You don't want James Conner to touch the ball 20 times if you don't have to, especially when you're up 2 scores. So I'm not sure if they're going to continue to throw the ball because they've always thrown the ball regardless of score, but they need to go out and they won another toss. They need to go out and score a touchdown. Go out, score a touchdown, 6 or 7 minute sustained drive, and just ride off into the sunset here without anybody getting hurt.
Sunset. Yeah, you can't see the sun in Chicago right now. It's ugly there. And that's another reason why, you want to have you want to get points on this opening drive in the second half. It's a great point by you. I think that the Arizona Cardinals are putting themselves in a prime position to not only rest their starters and their key players who have been on the shelf for the last couple of weeks. And this is a great opportunity for them to get out of the game early. And then you get that extra day too with Monday Night Football. You don't have to play next Sunday. You get just that much more rest, that much more preparation time for the Los Angeles Rams. I mean, I think it's just the season continues to trend the Cardinals' direction. A couple more, like the first play of this game was interesting. It was like, oh crap, there's going to be a lot of rust here because it ended up Kyler Murray kind of fumbling his first snap of the game, and he also had another fumble right by the goal line. And people are just blown away by how many fumbles they've had and how many they've recovered. But there have been so many that resemble that, especially around the goal line, just that kind of either bad snap or mishand, and then Kyler can just fall on it. So it's not much luck that's involved in that one. But it'd just be huge points right out of the gates in the second half would be huge for this offense. Defense continues to play well. I agree with you. There's been one bad drive, the 14-play, 77-yard drive where David Montgomery seemed to really be able to move the chains. They had to convert on fourth down on that, which not a lot of opposing offenses have been able to do. But if you can put this one, if you go up 24 or 28-7, it's over, man.
Yeah, that's the goal. Everything you said is right. Just take care of business. Don't make any mistakes. And it seems like they've played, as we talked about, like Kyler's had good protection. Okay. He had to run out of bounds once. He didn't catch the edge on Roquan Smith on third down after the only probably blunder coaching wise was the delay of game after the timeout. You probably put that on the players. It was kind of a weird thing where they had DJ Humphries out because they were looking at him for injury, and then they had to call timeout to get him back in the game, and then everything was kind of off. But other than that, I mean, you're splitting hairs at that point.
Yeah.
So take care of business. Like a 3-and-out here is just going to give you a bad taste in your mouth. They should be able to dominate this injury-riddled defense without Khalil Mack.
For sure. And I want to see this defense. I think the defense played exceptionally well in the first half outside of that one drive. Of course, they had the 2 takeaways, but, are we going to see more Zaven Collins because of Jordan Hicks getting banged up? You'd like to see Zaven Collins kind of find his legs out there, his sea legs out there for the Arizona Cardinals on defense. Isaiah Simmons is playing at a high level. And, of course, Byron Murphy has been making, he's been all over the place. He had a sack. He's had some good bake. I know he got the penalty, but that was a huge play by him to kind of set the tone early on. You just love to see the versatility out of the Arizona Cardinals cornerback one, CB1, Byron Murphy, who's slowly becoming a household name. And it's just been, I'd like to see maybe another couple takeaways. I don't think that this defense should be done on the day.
Yeah, it's saying it because I saw you tweet it out, and you're right. I thought about doing it too. It's like, if the other player doesn't get hurt, okay, if everybody is fine when they get up, you don't like to see it, but it makes you jump out of your seat when Isaiah Simmons decapitates Cam Newton last year, or when Byron Murphy or Budda Baker drills somebody really hard. It's like, that's what used to be, encouraged in the game of football. So when Byron Murphy happened to lay it out on a guy's helmet, you get 15 for it. It's kind of like, well, you know what? That was a hell of a hit, kid. That was a hell of a hit. Unfortunately, it's against the rules.
I'd love to see, and Byron Murphy had the big tackle on Cole Kmet, a tight end. Have we ever seen a Cards corner in the last decade take down a tight end one-on-one?
Just unless it was against the sideline where Patrick Peterson could push him out of bounds.
Yeah, he's just cough on him, or just put his just try to avoid contact at all costs.
Can you go out of bounds, please, sir?
Yeah, I love the physicality from the defensive backs, but man, how about the best safety duo in the NFL getting their hands on a pair of footballs? Budda Baker, Jalen Thompson, first 2 drives of it, setting the tone, and the Arizona Cardinals offense finishing it off. I mean, that's just the recipe. Second half is starting. We've got our knee-jerk reaction pod coming up immediately after the final whistle blows. Arizona Cardinals going for 10-2, 7-0 on the road. They're up 21-7, getting the ball here to start the second half. Follow Alex on Twitter at Clancy's Corner. Follow the show at Locked On AZ Cards. Follow me, Bob Brack, Bo Brock. Enjoy the second half.